Welcome to NCSA 2020 Virtual.
Hello, my name is Nicole Aggarwal, and I'm a senior at St. Mary's College. I'll be presenting The Media Virus of Explicit Racism, a content analysis of internet memes. Since declaring a double major in sociology and communication studies, I have always been interested in the spaces where these disciplines intersect. What intrigued me about memes specifically is how they permeate public spaces and the potential interpretations viewers can have of this content. I realized fairly quickly that internet memes were not just a joke. The term meme was coined in 1976 by a biologist named Richard Dawkins, who described them as cultural artifacts that circulate from person to person, similar to a gene. For the sake of this study, an internet meme can be understood as an image which contains a caption, but you will see throughout the presentation that this format can vary. I decided to combine my interests with racism and internet memes to formulate these research questions. I explored what themes are prevalent in racist internet memes and how do racist internet memes contribute to the social construction of race, as well as the potential effects racist internet memes can have on contemporary society. I argue that by masquerading as jokes, racist internet memes can successfully embed explicitly racist messages into their imagery and text. Over time, if users continue to create and view racist internet memes, overt racism may become the accepted racial ideology in the United States once again. There are two main theories that help to understand internet memes in a broader social context. The first is Mannheim's theory of ideology and utopia. In the most general sense, ideologies attempt to preserve the existing social order, while utopias attempt to counter it. Placing internet memes into this framework helps us understand the potential effects memes can have on society and how they may be interpreted by different groups. The next theory is the Overton Window, and this highlights what ideas are tolerated in a given social order at a given time. The best way to understand this is that social practices of the past would be considered radical and unacceptable today. As you can see in the image, the Overton window continues to shift and expand based on what ideas dominate at a certain time. It is important to note that this can be influenced by both facts and false information, which includes stereotypes and inaccurate racial narratives as depicted in memes. Now, the literature surrounding this topic can be broken down into these three themes. First, after the abolition of Jim Crow laws and the emancipation of slaves following the Civil War, racism took on a new form in America. And this is what scholars label as new racism, which is subtle, implicit, and difficult to find. The most common manifestation of this new racism is colorblind ideologies, which emphasize a common humanity, minimize and deny race as a deciding factor in one's life, and blame victims for their social standing. Next, the literature centered around the potential influence of racist online content. Scholars have found that offline socialization and experiences can influence how different groups of people perceive online content, especially racialized messages. In other words, if you have experienced discrimination or microaggressions offline, your perceptions of racial content online will differ. In the research of racial humor and racist memes, scholars have found that online racism mirrors the new racism I discussed before. That is, online racism is subtle, implicit, and difficult to find. Now, the most common manifestation of this online racism is embodied racism, which was coded for in this study. Embodied racism stems from biological racial arguments. It focuses on the body, the phenotype of a group, and is most often indicated by racial slurs. Finally, in the very limited research on internet memes, scholars have found that memes use humor to distract viewers. That is, internet memes use humor to encourage people to dismiss their messages as just a joke. Now, the inherent nature of memes complicates the data collection process. Because there's no way to know the original creator of a meme, nor the first time it was created or shared online, I had to create my own comprehensive list. So through a content analysis, I looked at 300 racist internet memes, which were collected through a keyword search of the phrase racist memes. The first 150 memes came from a Google image search, and the second 150 memes came from two user-created websites called memejoy.com and memesmonkey.com. In regards to the demographics of this sample, I excluded all memes that were duplicates. In this case, duplicates were memes with the same image and the same caption. I excluded anti-racist memes. And finally, I did not include memes with captions in languages other than English. In this study, I coded for 13 different themes. As you can see, this includes stereotypes, which represents a form of explicit racism. And there's also embodied racism and colorblindness, which represents the new racism that emerged through previous literature. In this study, I manually coded all 300 racist memes. I used an online program, as you can see here, called Google Auto ML Vision. This program allowed me to create labels for each of the 13 themes I coded for, as well as 6 racial categories, which you can see on the side. For each meme, I would individually attach the appropriate labels, so what racial or ethnic group was being targeted, as well as the relevant themes that were present. Based on the analysis of the data, I found that contrary to the findings of previous research, the messages embedded in racist internet memes are more explicitly racist. Furthermore, racist internet memes overwhelmingly target African Americans across all categories. This first table displays a breakdown of the prevalence of themes according to racial and ethnic group. As you can see, 74% of racist internet memes in this study targeted African Americans. The most frequently occurring theme in this study was stereotypes, comprising 28% of the sample. This demonstrates the higher presence of explicit racism. As you can see at the bottom, the total N does not read 300 because almost every meme was double, triple, or quadruple coded. It was extremely rare to have a meme targeting only one racial group and displaying one theme. You can also see that the themes of dehumanization and exaggeration overwhelmingly targeted African Americans, especially exaggeration. All racist internet memes displaying that theme targeted Black people. I am now going to show 3 examples of memes displaying racial stereotypes, and they are very explicit and may be difficult to look at. This next table shows a breakdown of the top 3 occurring themes: stereotypes, embodied racism, and criminality. As you can see, stereotypes overwhelmingly target every racial and ethnic group. And you can also see that 84% of memes displaying embodied racism targeted African Americans. Finally, all racist memes showing criminality targeted Black people, which is extremely difficult to see in this sample. I will now show examples of memes displaying embodied racism first and then criminality. As you can see, the first and third memes play on the phenotype and the physicality of different racial and ethnic groups. And the middle meme, if you're unable to figure out what it's saying, it is also dehumanizing to Black people as it is comparing them to a gorilla. So as you can see, as the chocolate melts, the IQ drops. So it is basically arguing that whites are superior to Blacks. Here are examples of criminality and racist memes. This last table shows a breakdown of human figures I coded for, looking at whether they were white or black and how they were portrayed. The most frequently occurring human figures in this study were movie and television characters, comprising 36% of the sample. This may seem odd, however, it aligns with the fact that memes use benign imagery to distract audiences. The recognition aspect encourages viewership. All Black human figures were portrayed negatively, while all but one of the white human figures were portrayed positively. And for reference, the one negative portrayal of a white human figure happened to be Hillary Clinton. So I'm now going to show you examples of portrayals of human figures that are both positive and negative. Based on these findings, there are three major implications about the effects that racist internet memes can have on society. First, the life of a racist meme can be compared to the life of a biological virus in the human body. When a biological virus enters the human body, there is a protective shell that disguises the virus and tricks the host into thinking that it is a harmless cell. Once it is able to enter the body, it attaches to the host, drops that protective shell, and injects the harmful contents into the person. So, racist internet memes are a media virus. The harmful content in this case is the explicitly racist message. The meme distracts viewers with its protective shell of humor and sensational imagery. We then have the online host, the online viewer, and this meme can attach to them, and once it has done so, it can drop that protective shell, and all the online viewer is left with is that explicitly racist message. The internet provides a perfect environment for racist internet memes to thrive. The lack of regulation, censorship, and sanctions for creators allows memes to proliferate without any consequences. And there are two main concepts that help understand why this is dangerous. First, echo chambers allow individuals to control what content they want to see, and more importantly, what they don't want to see. So if people want to view racist memes, the internet provides the necessary tools to subscribe to that content. Individuals can create, share, and view racist memes while maintaining complete anonymity. If users continue to create and view racist internet memes, soon they will be trapped in a chamber that continuously echoes the messages that align with their previously held beliefs. Next, filter bubbles grant immense power to the internet. As much as we want to believe that the internet is neutral, it has a lot of power over what we see. The internet filters out information and content based on our previous online behavior. This is dangerous because if individuals continue to view racist memes over time, algorithmic filters will eliminate any content that threatens their beliefs. Both echo chambers and filter bubbles work together to create a very dangerous environment for online users, as they will never see content that challenges them. Instead, they will be continuously fed explicitly racist messages to further solidify their existing racist views. Finally, understanding the Overton window allows us to see how racist internet memes affect society on the macro level. So following the Jim Crow era, racism became subtle and institutionalized. As a result, public displays of racism were met with public disapproval and punishment. Racism was unthinkable and radical. The internet provides anonymity, and users do not have to own up to their support of racism today. However, if racist internet memes have the power to shift our understanding of racism, over time, racist internet memes will normalize overt racism. The lack of regulation, the power of anonymity, and the little risk of punishment suggests that this shift has already begun. There is nothing stopping people from creating, viewing, sharing, and accessing this internet memes online. I invite you to think about the effects of racist internet memes. these seemingly benign images that seem like they are just a joke. Well, they are much more than that. They are perpetuating racial stereotypes, targeting African Americans, and spreading false narratives about race under the guise of humor. Next time you come across any meme, especially racist ones, I encourage you to rethink the consequences memes can have, because they are really not just a joke. Thank you for watching my presentation.